Bulletcast for life.
Get up, this is a revolution. This is our time to rise. Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm a 23-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, the greatest sports and recreational podcaster in the world today, the Podfather. And why am I here? It's simple. I'm here to lead the evolution in this audio revolution. Even though I am no longer the Le Champion of this show, I'm still a generational talent, a national goddamn treasure. I am joined on the line by the current champion of this show. He is my tag team partner. He's the Tully to my Arn, the Jimmy to my J, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T, the Christian to my Edge. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the Canadian Destroyer and the host of the award-winning Under the Radar, host and creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots, BT Brandon Tanguma. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, man. These intros for these shows have gotten better over time. I mean, we can't lie here, you know?
Well, we're on episode 149, so we've had some practice.
Yes, next week, the big 150, Brandon. Are you excited?
So excited, just can't hide it. But as I used to say, only like 148 of them count.
I mean, they all count, all right? They're all a part of our evolution as, can we say wrestling journalists? Are we wrestling journalists? Or are we just two guys who just shoot the breeze about the week that was in pro wrestling? I don't know. We'll let the people decide. But, you know, they all count, man. Did you ever think that you would be here for 150? Did you really ever think that?
No.
Exactly. I didn't think I'd be here either. But we are. Next week, 150. Can't wait. It's going to be great. But we're going to talk about the world of professional wrestling, as we always do since the wrestling world has shifted over the last couple months. We're going to start with SmackDown. I have a Why does it keep saying recap? I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it. It's part of the script now. I don't know. Anyway, Firefly Funhouse from SmackDown on Friday. Yeah, Bray Wyatt introduces a new championship. If Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt can have a championship, then I guess the Fiend has to have one. And when he said new title, I'm like, oh my god, that one he had custom made a couple years ago, like that camo brown strap. I'm like, oh, that's badass. That's gonna be the Fiend's title. And well, that was not the case. Brandon, what are your overall thoughts on that championship?
Well, it's definitely a distinct look. You can, if you would like to purchase it, you can get it for the low price of $6,499.99 on www.shop.com.
That is true. Yes, we have a fan mail about that, so we're gonna get more into that price once we get there. But keep going.
Well, I mean, it's this Fiend character. It's almost kind of like the New Day character, where it's just like it seems they're just pumping out any type of merchandise they can to squeeze every last life out of it. And apparently, the Fiend is the new #1 seller on WWE Shop. So good for Bray Wyatt. He's making that money, but I don't know if it's the best idea to have your top evil spooky heel to be the #1 merch seller. That being said, I did enjoy. Well, I don't know if I'd say enjoyed, but I'm intrigued by the Fiend taking down Daniel Bryan and ripping his hair out, wondering what his new look is going to be.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's gonna be like he was back in the day when he was the American Dragon, just clean shaven, bald, and that's gonna be the new Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan. Are you ready for the new Daniel Bryan, or can you handle that new?
I am ready for the new Daniel Bryan. He's been long-haired, shaggy for a long time. Yes, he's bringing back the yes stuff, which still seems a little outdated, but people are into it, so I'm okay with that. And now that he has a new look, I think it'll definitely freshen him up.
It will. You know, a haircut can do wonders. You know, I remember going to school when I had that nappy boy haircut. I'd go over the weekend, go get a haircut, come back on Monday. Your boy was looking fresh. All the young ladies were on your boy. So it does wonders. It really does. You know, you never know. Brandon, were the ladies on you after you got a haircut?
Oh yeah, of course.
Wow, you don't sound like very enthusiastic about it. Like, were they playing with your feelings? Is that what it was?
Oh yeah.
Wow. It's okay, man. It's okay. All right. Roman Reigns snaps. He does. He snaps. King Corbin's talking all this mess, and then it leads to a match with Roman Reigns and Robert Roode, and yeah. Anyway, the point being, Roman spears Robert through a barricade and then throws the announce table on him. Thoughts on all of this?
Well, it happened. I mean, if you saw Roman Reigns versus Bobby Roode and you didn't think Roman Reigns was going to win, then shame on you. But they're definitely pushing this Roman Reigns Baron Corbin feud with having Roode and Ziggler be the lackeys. Don't know what Ziggler's really doing. He just kind of stands there with his tight jeans and his straightened hair with the hat on. So good for Ziggler. I mean, an easy paycheck for you.
You don't like Dolph Ziggler with straight hair and tight jeans?
Well, I mean, that's usually how he always is. So
that's true. Dolph is he's a very nice chap. Yeah, man. So I mean, Roman, he looked incredibly badass here. I wish they had kind of just left the table like down, kind of put over Roman even more, I mean, do you really miss the days of Roman just going over everybody? I kind of do now. Not gonna lie to you. I kind of just got used to it. Just got used to him winning,
You don't know what you have until it's gone.
Exactly. So that's a song. Oh my god. Now it's gonna bother me for the remainder of the show until I figure out what that song is. But yeah, so where does it really all go from here? I know we're gonna get Corbin and Roman, but after we get that match, what happens?
Then the big dog tries to reclaim his yard by winning the Royal Rumble. He's gonna beat the Fiend at WrestleMania.
Oh my god. How loud do you think? I mean, they'll be in Florida. Those are Roman's people. It could be okay. I don't know. We are a little over a month away from the Royal Rumble, so I mean we can get into Rumble talk once that time really comes. But Sheamus, yes, the Celtic Warrior, he is a promo, a pre-taped promo talking about we have King Corbin and Shorty G. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Great White Sheamus, not the Mohawk Bar Sheamus that we've seen for the last 4 or 5 years. No, the Great White. It's a shame for Pain. He's coming back. He has a full head of hair again. It's like 2009 Sheamus all over again. And frankly, I love it. If we can get the old theme song written in your face back, oh my god, this is going to be great. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
We've been waiting for Sheamus to come back. He's been healthy for the last few months. Just creative had nothing for him. I mean, his Great White persona, it's been a while since we've seen it. So I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same Sheamus that we saw, however many years ago. But I don't know if he's a heel or a babyface because he called out The Fiend and he called out Shorty G and Ali and whoever. So, I mean, I assume he's a heel going forward because it was just he had a nasty look on his face. So maybe this is another heel for the big dog to conquer on his way to WrestleMania.
I don't know. He could be a tweener because I think people do like Sheamus. I really do. And with the whole Great White, you don't know what you got till it's gone, man. That's probably gonna be the theme of the show.
Would you say that Sheamus is the Great White Hope?
Possibly, that face run he had starting in the summer of 2011, the feud with Mark Henry, going up until him winning the world title and having that banger of a match with Big Show at Hell in the Cell 2012. Yeah, I like it. I think he's the Great White Hope. Put some give SmackDown a little oomph on Friday nights.
Sure.
Yeah. I found the song "Got Till It's Gone" by Janet Jackson. Very, very, very good album. Came out about '93. Great stuff. We're gonna move on though. We're gonna talk about Mustafa Ali defeating Drew Gulak. It happened. Do we care?
Not really. Nobody got hurt, and that's all I can ask for.
That really is all we can ask for. Moving on, Sasha Banks and Bailey. Oh my God, I forgot she's a heel. I can't say that. It's Bailey. It's Aunt Pam. They have a promo inside of the ring talking about the whole Survivor Series 5-on-5-on-5 women's elimination match, and Lacey Evans comes out there and gives Sasha a little punch on the cheek there.
So Lacey Evans is apparently a babyface now after the feud she had with Natalya, and then she turned babyface because she teamed with Natalya. Then she was a babyface because she is the leader of the women's revolution in Saudi Arabia, and then she's a heel, and then now she's a babyface without explanation, and then she's saying some like weird southern colloquialisms like you can't lead a chicken dance in a garden party, whatever the hell that means. So just Lacey Evans, great character work.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I used to live in the South, Brandon, and you can't lead a chicken. I forgot the saying. It's been a couple years since I lived there, but I got what she meant. Yeah, Lacey Evans is a babyface. You know, she was the once you make history in Saudi, you become a babyface around the world. That's just how this is. It's just how this goes.
Well, Phillip, could you explain to the dumb city boy that I am what leading a chicken dance in a garden party actually means?
You see, I just told you, like, it's been a couple years since I've lived in the South. You know, I've really tried to repress all those memories from my psyche. But yeah, you know, I'll hit up some of my boys that still live down in Pensacola, Florida, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Yeah, exactly, man. Maybe next week we can do that. A little homework for the Podfather. But yeah, I mean, Lacey Evans is a babyface. You know, she's a hero. You know, she was in the Army or the Army, Navy. She was in the military. All right. She's a hero. She's a fighter. She's a mom. Moms are baby faces. They're heroes. She's a strong woman. She has a woman's right. God damn it. Lacey Evans as a baby face is okay. And plus, like, did you see the? It's not a 24. It's like the Day of Crown Jewel on the WWE Network. Lacey Evans, like, out of character, she seems like the sweetest person ever.
I do think there is some upside with Lacey Evans being a babyface, but just like I say with Charlotte, I wish you could tell us a story or give us a reason to cheer her instead of just turning her and just now she's facing heels, so now you have to cheer her, and now she's facing Natalya, so you have to boo her, and it's hard to get into characters when they're just flipping flopping all the time.
That is true, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is true. I mean, but we love Big Show. He flip-flopped all the damn time.
Well, I mean, Big Show wasted opportunity there as well.
I mean, no. For a couple of those flip-flops, there were reasons why he did what he did. You know, Survivor Series 2014, he turns on Team Cena. Why? You know, he had to protect his job. You know, got to make your money, boo-boo. We understand that one. You know?
Well, at least Big Show has a terrible moral compass. For Charlotte, it's just, she's Charlotte, she's a star. Here you go.
Well, you know, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about Charlotte and her whole thing later on in the show, but yeah, I guess that's it, man. What else happened on this show? New Day, they defeat Shinsuke and Cesaro, retaining their tag team titles.
Yes, they did.
This happened.
It did.
Yeah. Thicky Cross defeats Sonya Deville, a.k.a. Daddy. And, Sonya, I mean, God, yeah, Sonya. We're not going to get into all that here. And, Mandy. They were beating down Nikki Cross, and oh my God, God's greatest gift besides Mandy Rose and myself, Alexa Bliss made her return to WWE TV. Hitting that DDT. I love it. I loved everything about it. The goddess is back. And my life is whole again, Brandon.
Good to see Alexa Bliss
Alexa
back.
Black? What?
Alexa Bliss back and healthy. Nikki seemed genuinely excited that her best friend is back, and so now we got with Nikki was there and then Alexa was there, and they were two separate picks. You would think, oh, maybe they're not going to be together, but Twisted Bliss or whatever their name is back and ready to rumble.
Bliss Cross? I don't know. I have no idea what's going on there. Yeah, but I'm excited for them. I really am. I can sleep at night again. Alexa Bliss is back in WWE. Well, with all that being said, we're going to go to our outside of the ring segment. AEW quarterly pay-per-views. Brandon, you discussed this on your Under the Radar show. Do you have the press release in front of you? Do you have it with you? Can you pull that up and read it to your boys? To the
Well,
millions?
if I were to pull it up, I'd have to go to Wrestling Observer, and I know you just love them so
My
much.
God.
Because that's where
Why?
your boy gets some of his news from.
Why would you do that to yourself? Like, come on, man.
I'll have to skim through all this other news that we're probably going to talk about, but come on, where is it? No, we're not going to talk about WWE rehiring Krista Joseph or
Who?
Big Johnson.
Oh.
You know.
Oh, I remember that guy. How is he? Is he good? Is he healthy? Does he have kids?
Well, he's rehired with WWE, so there you go.
Well, hey, he needs to fill out that thong somehow. You know what I mean?
Well, here we go. This story was updated at 5:30 Eastern Time on Monday or whatever. All Elite Wrestling and In Demand have announced the finalization of a deal Tuesday that guarantees the brand will have a pay-per-view presence through the early summer of 2021, and this means that they're going to have at least one show per quarter until next summer. Philip, I thought we're on the AEW press list. I thought we get these press releases.
Yeah, no, we do. I just I saw it late and it was already really out there, so I was like, and then you covered it on Under the Radar, and plus I couldn't find the release in the email right now, so.
Because we have so many emails.
Oh my god! My god! Yes. How many emails are on the phone right now? 1,413, man. Majority of them Bulletcast emails, because But AEW keeping the quarterly thing. That's absolutely fine. I don't know if they're gonna have a pay-per-view before Double or Nothing 2 in Vegas this coming Memorial Day weekend again. But I'm all for it. Like it's a nice business model. The whole $50 thing, like your boys, it can hit you like at certain times. The whole WWE network. It's simple. You pay $9.99. You get all this amazing content. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they are working towards it. Some sort of like just AEW streaming service. You know what I mean?
They have BR Live, Bleacher Report Live, which maybe they're going to integrate some sort of synergy with them and AEW down the line. It is a TNT property, so maybe they want to have their own thing like WWE Network, so they don't have to rely on a separate company of their TV partners. But I do agree with you that the pay-per-view model, it's not outdated. There is definitely money in it. Like you can see UFC, the boxing stuff. When there's a really big event, pay-per-view still draws a lot of money. But now in the wrestling industry where everyone is just streaming and we're so used to just $10 a month or even, $20 for an iPay-per-view, asking $50 for even an iPay-per-view on Bleacher Report Live or on regular on-demand. It is a little pricey, and AEW, when they were like super duper hot earlier in the year, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I think this will be enough. But now they're kind of tapering off a little bit. So I don't know when their next pay-per-view is going to be, if it is going to be Double or Nothing in May, but I assume there's going to be something early 2020. And maybe that Moxley Jericho match, if it's built properly, can draw a lot of money.
Absolutely. The whole $50 a month, like there are solutions like, hey, get a few friends together, everybody pitches in $10. Like let's say you get like 5 people together, everybody pitches in $10, boom, pay-per-view's paid for. You guys can chill, have your brewskis, have your snacks, your food, and just watch AEW pay-per-views. You could do that, but for me, I'm kind of a loner and I don't really have any friends. Like Brandon's my only friend, ladies and gentlemen. I do watch these pay-per-views alone sometimes, just in my room, kind of existing, dwindling my life away. So it can be expensive if you're doing stuff like your boy over here, but get some people together, have a good time, watch AEW. It's always great fun, isn't that right, Brandon?
So much fun, especially if you got a good buzz going.
Yeah, I mean, God, I made this podcast pretty depressing already. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna move on. Kane, we all know Kane. That's got to be Kane, the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. A TMZ video emerged onto the internet as it always does, and yeah, Kane said he wants to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Has Glenn Jacobs had a Hall of Fame career, Brandon? I know the WWE Hall of Fame. You have your qualms about it. I do as well. But you know, if we're talking just straight up, does Kane deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
The WWE Hall of Fame, absolutely. I have a very low threshold for people who, qualify for it. Honestly, I don't know if there's anybody who doesn't qualify for it, because who really cares? It's the WWE Hall of Fame. It's a show. Kane had a fantastic career in the WWE. Now, if this was like a legit, Observer Hall of Fame, then I don't know if I would say that he had a Hall of Fame career. Because for, the sports Hall of Fames, real Hall of Fames, I have a much higher threshold. He would be in the Hall of Very Good.
Look, Glenn Jacobs had a Hall of Fame career. I mean, let's really... He's not like a hillbilly Jim, or like a Coco Beware. Let's really look...
Well, those wouldn't be on the ballot. I would give Kane, at least, he would be on the ballot for voting.
I mean, look, let's really look at the career. I mean, debuts at the first Hell in the Cell, has the feud with his brother, The Undertaker. And look, Kane scared me ishless as a kid, man. He's been another one that can be on the realm of reinvention, He didn't speak for the longest time, had that tag team with RVD, finally took off his mask. Had that weird thing with Lita, God knows, we can't forget Katie Vick. And he just went on a run of not really talking for quite a while in the decade. Had a couple world title runs, the 2010 feud with his brother, The Undertaker, and then he puts back on the mask in late 2011 feuds with John Cena. Not to forget, he becomes Corporate Kane when he sells out to the Authority, gives them his mask. Team Hell No. Come on, man. I mean, do I need to see Kane in world title matches in 2018 going up with Strowman and Lesnar? No, absolutely not. Don't need to see that. But overall, I think Glenn Jacobs did have a Hall of Fame career. How many people could really pull off Kane? Let's be realistic here.
Luke Gallows did it perfectly.
No, but was Luke Gallows fake Diesel and Isaac Yankem? No, he wasn't. Who can pull off Isaac Yankem? Not a lot of people can.
Luke Gallows was Festus, for God's sakes. He can pull off anything.
That was a whole other thing, and he was 21. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I do think Kane deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, of course he'll go in eventually. And the whole WWE Hall of Fame. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we can get into this real quick. What's the true merit to being in there? We don't really know. I mean, for the longest time, it was like,
if Vince McMahon likes you, that's about it.
I don't know about all that. I mean, for the longest time, it was like you had guys like Andre the Giant, and then Gorilla Monsoon would go in. Guys like that. Guys who paved the way for the business. And there's still a lot of those people that have gone in over the years. I mean, that's what the majority of the Hall of Fame is built on. But nowadays, it's like people people criticize Tori Wilson for getting in. Nowadays, it's about if you were a memorable character, truly memorable, not like one guy remembers you oh, do you remember Heidenreich? It's like if you were truly a memorable character who had some sort of an impact, then you go in. I guess that's just what it is now. Now, the whole celebrity...
Come on, don't disrespect Heidenreich like that. He was a former Road Warrior, and he had a memorable segment with Michael Cole in a
He raped Michael Cole in, a cellar or whatever. No. Look, I'm saying, the whole celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, I don't like that. I'm not going to lie to you. We don't need that. The whole Warrior Award, we have our qualms about the Ultimate Warrior. But, people like Connor, that little boy who was a big fan of Daniel Bryan, who unfortunately lost his battle with cancer, him receiving awards and going in, stuff like that, I'm okay with that. Sue Atchison, who just got one, I'm okay with stuff like that. I really am. But, does Drew Carey need to be in the Hall of Fame? No, absolutely not. Mike Tyson, love Mike. Love him to death. No. Snoop Dogg, love Gin and Juice. No. doesn't need to be in there. The fact that he is, cool, you could say, hey, man, I'm a WWE Hall of Famer. I'm Big Pimpin'. You could say stuff like that, okay. Does the president of this country need to be in the Hall of Fame? Oh, my God. I can go on for about an hour and a half on why that guy doesn't need to be in the Hall of Fame or even running this country, sitting in the chair that he's in, but we're not going to get into that. So, yeah, that's my whole spiel on the WWE Hall of Fame until the Hall of Fame comes around in April and I have to do this all again.
I don't really care too much about the WWE Hall of Fame. I see for it what it is. Maybe Kane and Undertaker going together, that can be a nice, 1-2 punch headlining, because we don't have too many headlining acts anymore. And I don't think Kane, unfortunately, is, that top tier headliner that he's not Goldberg or Cena or Rock or, there's only a few of them really still out there. So I think Undertaker and Kane, not going in together, but going in the same year, could be, something to look forward to.
Absolutely. All right, John Moxley speaks. Moxley did an interview with my boy Chris Van Vliet, friend of the show, and yeah, man, he talked about his just a lot. It wasn't as in depth as the Jericho podcast when he first broke out, but yeah, man. I mean,
or the Wade Keller podcast.
I didn't listen to that one. Not gonna lie to you. I do. I like Wade. I do. I like Wade Keller. I do. I think he's a fine gentleman. I really do. But I didn't hear it. Yeah, man. So it was just it was more calm, and he was just he didn't really get into all his frustrations, but he talked about he always wanted to wrestle in Japan as soon as he left the company, and it's a nice listen. It's about 30 minutes, and it's just Moxley chill being himself. Doesn't really talk to Roman and Seth anymore, but
Is this the one where he gets in the doghouse because he said that Renee Young worries too much?
It might be. It might be.
Renee did not like that.
She does not. She did not. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Tommaso Ciampa. He fought the quote-unquote call-up. Let me pull this up because I found this very interesting. So this past Monday, Tommaso Ciampa was on the Chasing Glory podcast with former WWE ring announcer Lillian Garcia. Does she deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, Brandon?
Yeah, I said I don't really have a very high standard, and she had a very long career.
She did have a very long career. It was all very nice. Where's it? Oh, I took a screenshot. That's right. It's not in that folder. It's in another folder. I have multiple folders on this phone. There we go. And it is gone. Okay. So I remember what he said. Anyway, the point is, he said he would rather retire than go to Raw or SmackDown because, he loves NXT. It's a special being in and of itself. He said he would rather become a producer or a coach than wrestle on Raw or SmackDown. Thoughts on that?
Well, it's something that we've kind of heard from multiple people in NXT, that it just kind of feels different. They like the camaraderie. They just like how it feels. And maybe the WWE is too much of a machine and too much of a corporation, even though NXT is run by WWE. But it feels different. And I can understand why maybe somebody wants to be more on NXT. And, you hear the horror stories of everything that goes on the main roster. So I can see why he would want to do that, to maybe him wanting to be a producer is his way of, giving back, and maybe he realizes that he's not Vince's type, so if he does go to the main roster, he would end up like a Tyler Breeze or someone who had, a decent, or well, in his case, a really good NXT career, and then he goes over to the main roster and it just doesn't click with Vince, and if it doesn't click with Vince, you're screwed because you're there to entertain one person.
Yes, you are. The big man, Vinnie Mac. You are there to entertain him, and him alone. Yeah, I mean, NXT, it's a special being, it really is. I heard, what's his name? Kevin Owens on the After the Bell podcast with Corey Graves. Apparently Corey Graves has a podcast now, if you didn't know. Yeah, so we talked about being on that takeover a couple weeks ago, and just the special feel, and NXT don't ever change. It is something special. It's, for the longest time, it was the niche thing that if you knew, you knew, and you understood, and you were very well respected if you knew before it became the big thing that it is now. And plus, Ciampa, hasn't he turned his attention back to Goldie?
Yes, because he's done going to war.
Yes, he is done going to war. Can't wait for that. All right, Arn Anderson picks his modern-day Four Horsemen. On his podcast, he said he would have the Monster Among Men, LeBron Strowman, the Revival of Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a good pick, I guess. I don't really have any big issues with it. I don't think we're going to see a modern-day Four Horsemen, because I think, it's a gimmick that it was perfect the way it was in the past, and let's leave it in the past. Let's not try to recreate it.
Absolutely. Just fantasy booking. Goldberg would be the next person on the Broken Skull Sessions. Can't wait to hear about that, what they're going to talk about. Hopefully, they really get in depth about his return and his feud with Brock Lesnar and his Saudi showdown with The Undertaker. And Matt Riddle, of course, because I want to hear Goldberg bury the hell out of Matt Riddle.
Bro, he couldn't lace Matt Riddle's flip-flops.
Flip-flops don't have laces, Brandon.
Exactly, that's why he couldn't lace them.
And look, if Matt Riddle is wearing flip-flops with laces, oh my god, that's absolutely atrocious.
Well, I think he wears the fanny pack flip-flops, have a little compartment in there for his stuff, his gimmicks.
The devil's lettuce?
Riddle's lettuce.
Do you like Riddle's lettuce?
I have not partaken in it, so I cannot comment on it.
Oh, okay. All right. And last up but outside of the ring, Matt Hardy. Alonzo. He welcomes his third child, BKH Bartholomew Kit Hardy. Matt's he's just popping him out, huh?
No, Rebby Sky is popping him out.
I mean, he has to pop out something for her to pop out the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Rebby Hardy. She's a hard-working woman, having to deal with 3 Hardy boys.
True. Very true. But then the big Hardy boy. So there are going to be no NXT takeover. I don't know if is there going to be an NXT UK takeover, but the regular NXT brand, they're not having a takeover until February. Brandon, somebody is at my door. You know the drill. Take it away.
Well, while Phillip is at the front door yelling at somebody to get off their lawn, we have no takeover until February. It's going to be in Portland, Oregon. We talked about this, I believe, a few months back, where it was announced that it is going to be a Worlds Collide event the day before the Royal Rumble. So we're going to have NXT take on NXT UK. Don't exactly know what that entails. We're going to have to wait a few more weeks for that to happen. We did see a little taste of it with Phillip's favorite NXT wrestler, Matt Riddle, taking on British's best wrestler, Cassius Ohno. So they're definitely laying the groundwork for some sort of stuff going on with the Worlds Collide the day before the Royal Rumble. We're seeing on NXT and AEW that December 18th is going to be a very big show. That's going to be 2 NXT title matches taking place on December 18th. So that's going to be a little mini takeover until we get to the real takeover in February. And Phillip is not back yet.
I've been back for like the last 25 seconds. I was just listening to you go, man.
Oh, I left that awkward pause in there for you to jump in, and then you just let me drown.
Yeah, it's kind of how it happens here. It's fine, there's not going to be a Royal Rumble takeover. I don't like that. I really don't. I enjoyed the Royal Rumble takeover. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Gargano and Andrade, they had a banger, a 5-star, apparently to Big Dave at a Royal Rumble takeover. So, it's whatever. Hopefully we do get some NXT interaction in the Royal Rumble. I think that'd be cool. How many spots for NXT guys would you like to see in the Royal Rumble? Give me a number, Brandon.
I don't have a specific number. I would maybe say 1. And if you're going to have that one person, you have them stand out and you have them either make a deep run or win the whole thing. And I know you're going to hate me, but Matt Riddle, I think, would be a perfect choice. Keith Lee is also getting a big push, so I think him in there could be something, especially with him and Roman, what happened in Survivor Series. So I would maybe limit the NXT call-ups just because, I don't know, they're not call-ups, but, they just are in the Royal Rumble because sometimes they get lost in the shuffle. I think Gargano maybe was in there, but he had a decent showing, but there were some other ones in the men's and women's Royal Rumble that they showed up, they got a nice little pop, but then they, all in all, didn't really do all that much.
Yeah, look, I'd like to have three because, it's the third brand of WWE or whatever. Matt Riddle can be one of them. Just as long as Randy Orton RKO's him and tosses his ass out, I'll be fine with it. I'll be absolutely fine with it. You know? And of course, I would love to see Keith Lee, him and Roman have a callback. That'd be really dope. But we're done with outside of the ring. We're going to hit this day in wrestling. We're going to kind of power move it real quick. New Japan had a show on this day in 1979. Bob Backlund beats Tatsumi Fujinami. WWE Madison Square Garden house show on this day in 2004. The Undertaker defeats John Heidenreich. Wow. TNA 2013. Sting was involved in a steel cage match. He was defeated by Bobby Roode. I think Magnus defeats AJ Styles as well. Not to mention SmackDown Live 2017. Randy Orton defeats Sami Zayn. Larry Zbyszko is 68 years old today, and Dynamite Kid died 1 year ago today. And today would have been his 61st birthday.
Heidenreich getting a lot of love on the podcast.
I know. When the hell was the last time John Heidenreich was mentioned on a show?
I don't think we ever talked. I think we've talked about Heidenreich maybe a few times, but it was always because of the whole Michael Cole situation. So
I mean, that's his legacy. That is his legacy. You know.
He just wanted to read Michael Cole a poem.
Oh no, no, he didn't. He read him something, all right, and it wasn't Miranda rights. All right, we are going to move on to our fan mail segment. Jack of all trades. Who's a wrestler that's in your top 5 that might surprise people? Mine is Nunzio. Wow, little Guido. Okay. In my top 5 that might surprise people? Brandon, can you answer? I'm trying to think. My top 5.
I don't think I would say my top 5, but it is kind of hard just right off the top of my head to try to think of someone who I'd think that nobody would really expect, or I think I like a lot more than many other people. So, my top 5 is like Stone Cold, not John Cena, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, very regular picks, I would say. I mean, nobody's really coming to mind unless Phillip has something.
I'm trying to think. My top 5 these are like standard guys that would be in people's top 5. I think my 6 through 10, like that might surprise people. I put John Cena over Eddie Guerrero. Yeah.
I think someone who I quite enjoyed is, this probably isn't an official pick, but someone who kind of came to mind was DDP. Yes, I know DDP was big, but I quite enjoyed him.
Yeah, man. I remember I got some heat at a bar once for the bartender gave me hell for putting Cena over Eddie, but I stick by it, man. I started watching wrestling. I caught like the last year in life of Eddie Guerrero's career. I mean, Eddie's a fantastic talent. Nobody like him. But I grew up with John. He's my Hogan. You know? I grew up with Big Match John. Alright, we're gonna move on with the fan mail here. Who else we got? Hootie Who 420.
Hootie Who.
This is funny. Hootie Who in the Blue Hell is going to pay, as you Americans say, 6 racks. Wow. For that bloody atrocity of a championship the Fiend has.
Well, there are people out there who will pay. Well, technically it's 7 racks because there's a lot of taxes involved, and that there are belt collectors out there who probably are going to pay it. I don't know exactly what the limited amount is. I heard it's like under 10. Who knows? But there are people out there who will pay for it.
I wanna meet somebody who's like, if somebody actually buys that belt, I want them on the show. I don't care who you are, where you are. I want you on the show to discuss why you decided to buy that thing.
Just think of it as an investment. If you have that kind of money to spend and you're a belt collector, you buy it, and then who knows, maybe you flip it for 10 grand, 15 grand. Who knows what happens? Maybe, there's a iconic happening with that belt that'll drive it up in value.
Brandon, who the hell's paying $10,000 or $15,000 for that?
Well, who knows? Maybe the Fiend goes on an Okada-esque run, and he holds the title for like 2 years, puts on fantastic matches, and that Fiend belt was like the belt that everybody looks up to, and there's only like 3 of them in the entire world, and you have one, and then you can resell it.
You're really stretching this, aren't you?
I'm just thinking best case scenario here.
All right, fantasy book the damn territory. Alfie Lewis, Lana and Lashley is mind-numbingly atrocious. Yeah, I agree. I am not going to disagree. Do we have anything from Copenhagen? Has he wrote us yet? I don't know.
Wow, I don't keep up with their boy Copenhagen on the Twitter DMs.
I don't. Has he written anything? No.
He has not. It's been a while.
Oh well. Okay. All right. Rudo's podcast on Instagram. Shout out Jason. Here we go. Who's got the brightest future on the main roster? Cole, Gargano, Ciampa, or Lee? Wow. I mean, Keith Lee's hot right now. He yeeted Adam Cole. What was it? Wednesday night or last week? Whatever. I don't know, man. I mean, Adam Cole. He oozes charisma, man. Like, that guy's charismatic as all hell.
It's NXT, it's Vince McMahon. You never really know what exactly he'll like or what he'll stick to. I think the person who has the most upside, and who I've said this before with other people, that there's like Kevin Owens, Bailey, there's people that could have been like the top person in the entire company, could have been a huge star, but then they just don't book them properly and they bury them like they tend to do. I think Johnny Gargano is one of those people who I have very high expectations for, or very high aspirations for, but I don't expect him to reach the levels like I think he could. Realistically, I think Keith Lee, indeed even Adam Cole. Yes, I know Adam Cole is smaller, but I think Vince likes like those heels that kind of run their mouth and can fill up a lot of TV time. But I think Keith Lee, just because he's big, has the most upside when it comes to, Vince McMahon liking them.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying this this delicious Chinese food as we discuss this podcast. I'm lacking nutrients at the moment, Brandon. I apologize. Yeah, I think Adam Cole, man. I really do, because I mean, even though Keith Lee, I discovered him a couple years ago, he should be able to do the things he can do for a man his size. But Adam Cole, like, he just, like I said, he's charismatic as all hell. Like, he just works. I don't like to use the word swag, but I'm going to use it. There's a certain swag when he walks to the ring. And, the boom, and then the Adam Cole, baby, and 15,000 plus, however many are in the arena doing it. It all just works. It really does. And I like that. I really, really like that.
If you give me, like, one person I would choose out of all those people, I probably would take Adam Cole, just because he is so versatile. He can be a fantastic heel, a fantastic babyface, but I just think Gargano, like the way he clicked with NXT this year and last year and, pretty much his entire career, I think he could just be something special. He can be the new Daniel Bryan if he's booked properly, and maybe he could be, Teflon, because he can lose and come back, and he can get the crowd behind him because he's not being booked properly, and the whole meta rebellion like Daniel Bryan and stuff. But I'm being realistic. Johnny Gargano's not going to be used properly on the main roster if he ever gets there.
It's true. He can just be a part of the Cruiserweight division in NXT. He'll be fine. All right, In Brightest Day X. Oh, this is a Ring of Honor question.
They're still a thing?
Yeah, apparently. How do you feel about Ring of Honor? I still DVR it and watch it. They are putting on decent matches. It looks like they've got some nice up-and-coming talent. Shane Taylor is standing out with his promo skills. Joe Hendry looks great. I know there are issues with management, but should we give up on it or push to help revive it?
Well, I used to record Ring of Honor, but like the TV shows, it's just like I didn't really understand what was going on. It was just like a best of show. They weren't really like linear stories to really follow. And I mean, the matches, the in-ring stuff is good, but it's like in this day and age, you need more than just have good matches, because there's just so much wrestling out there that, you can find good wrestling pretty much anywhere. And with the whole management situation with Joey Mercury and everything else that's going on there, it definitely doesn't help them. And they're running shows that aren't getting good reviews, and they're not getting good attendance figures. Marty Scurll, this might be his final show at Final Battle next week, so who knows what's going to go on with him. They have good talent, but it's like we were talking about Bandito, who was like super hot last year, coming out of WrestleMania, coming out of All Out, or All In, and it's like they haven't done really anything with him to elevate his status. And if, Marty Scurll, Bandito, Jeff Cobb, some of these people leave to go to AEW or WWE, I think they would be so much bigger than they will be in ROH.
Yeah, Marty's contract officially ended like a couple days ago, and he agreed to do Final Battle, so I think he is out, and obviously he has to. AEW is where he's going to go. We just don't see anything else, and then, hopefully they can grab Flip Gordon too, but Ring of Honor, I mean, again, that used to be the niche thing for quite some time, and now it's just, it's abysmal. I can't lie. I mean, I don't know, man. Like there used to be a magic to Ring of Honor. Now it's fallen by the wayside. What can revive it, Brandon?
I mean, I don't know what exactly could revive it. We don't get a lot of ROH out here at all. So, like when there would be like a big show and I'd hear stuff, I'd check them out. I'd order pay-per-view here and there, but I'm not really hearing any good things. So there's really no reason for me to pay attention to them. They don't travel over here. We don't get their television shows on our cable stations or local stations. So, I mean, I think what they need to do is just build good talent. But now with there's so much wrestling places out there trying to lock up good talent, I think it's kind of hard to find new and upcoming talent these days.
It is. It really is. I mean, they need to. I don't know if they can grab a. I mean, Jake Atlas is going to WWE. I don't know, man. Hopefully.
I mean, you really have to find like those, not diamonds in the rough, but just like people who are just so unknown that WWE or AEW haven't scooped them up yet. And that's kind of hard because, ROH has a lot of money. Sinclair has a lot of money, so they can spend big money contracts on people who maybe don't deserve it. But then do you really want to be spending all this money on people who are unproven, and ROH might be having some financial troubles to begin with? And it's just, a whole big thing.
Yep. Oh, Ring of Honor. Oh, Ring of Honor. All right, let me get this Instagram name right. El Santo Negro de Chicago. I met this guy Double or Nothing Starcast. He was a great dude. I remember him. Here we go. Number 1, is there a world's champ? Yeah. His name is Brock Lesnar. 2, Brandon, do you have a take on that?
I mean, I would say it's Nick Aldis. He's the world's champ, right?
Brock Lesnar is the world's champion.
Well, he's WWE champion.
Yeah, it's WWE.
He's only the champion of that company, but Nick Aldis is the champion of the worlds, multiple worlds.
I mean, WWE, it's the number 1 wrestling company in the world. Brock Lesnar holds their top prize, therefore he's the world heavyweight champion. Just makes sense.
Maybe the Fiend is the world champion because he's the master of the universe.
No. I mean, like, look, football. The Super Bowl team, whatever team wins the Super Bowl, they're the number 1 football team in the world, right? Because the NFL, the biggest football league in the world, so therefore, it just makes sense. Same with an NBA championship. All this just makes sense. Yep. All right. Number 2, can AJ overwrite Jericho as the GOAT, and what will it take to do so? Well, we're going to talk about AJ and Jericho together later on in this show, but, Jericho's he's done so much over his tenure in the world of professional wrestling. AJ's done quite a bit too, but, the early days of TNA and really trying to bring that promotion up, and he did for quite some time. I always consider AJ the face of TNA. And then the stuff he did... contender for Wrestler of the Decade, absolutely, with the stuff he did in Japan and then coming over to WWE and the matches with Styles and stuff like that. I mean, not Styles, the matches with Cena and stuff like that. But what will it take, Brennan?
Well, GOAT is a very hard thing to distinguish because I wouldn't say Chris Jericho is literally the greatest wrestler of all time. But if we're going to go to like that being a broad category that involves many other people, I think AJ Styles is in that discussion. I think he's really, really good, but AJ Styles was never the most charismatic, character-driven person in the world. Yes, he has gotten better recently, but even Chris Jericho might be doing his best work in his late 40s, and he doesn't have to rely on these high-flying, fantastic spots and everything like AJ Styles used to do. And now that AJ is getting up there, he's in his 40s, he's going to have to rely more on his legacy, and it would help him if he was like Jericho, where he was super charismatic and he'd be entertaining all the time, and the matches kind of come secondary. But with AJ, he was always the best wrestler in the world, and now that he's not that anymore, that kind of hurts him now that he's in his twilight years.
True. I mean, when we talk about GOAT and Jericho, I think when we mean like he's the present day GOAT, as in he's still currently wrestling, he's the present day currently active GOAT. I think that's what we mean when we talk about that. I mean, is Jericho one of the greatest of all time? Yes. I mean, you can't deny what the guy's done, but I mean, if you were to ask me who is legit the greatest wrestler of all time, it's Ric Flair. It just is. I mean, the guy could talk you into buying, I don't know, houses that are way out of your budget, and then go out there and have a 60-minute Broadway with some guy who's been the local jobber in this territory for the last year and a half. And at the end of that match, Flair walks out the NWA title, and that kid is now a star. Like Flair, the ultimate GOAT.
It's so hard to determine who is the GOAT, because you can look at stats and you can sway stats and put more emphasis on certain numbers. And then with wrestling, it's so objective that maybe, you like Ric Flair's matches a lot more than Hulk Hogan's, but then Hulk Hogan drew more money and he was more maybe, entertaining in a different aspect than Ric Flair. And it's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. His last question: what advanced metric is WWE trying to go with by selling a belt that is $6,500? It's actually a lot more with shipping and handling. And what specific type of crack pipe did they smoke to try to get people to buy this belt? I mean, we talked about it.
Well, maybe they were smoking Matt Riddle's lettuce.
Exactly why he doesn't need to be employed by this company. Honestly, like, if I were running things at WWE, he wouldn't even be there. Wouldn't be there. Just a flat out truth. He's not good, ladies and gentlemen. He's not. Him, Kenny Omega, not good. Hell, I enjoy watching No Way Jose wrestle more than I do Matt Riddle. And I despise No Way Jose. Yeah, I went there. I did.
You'd rather watch the Eric Rowan No Way Jose match on repeat than watch Matt Riddle.
I would rather watch that than Kenny Omega, Matt Riddle for 35 minutes. You know what? I want to see No Way Jose and Eric Rowan go an hour and 90 minutes. I would rather watch that than Matt Riddle and Kenny Omega. I said it. You heard it here first. I'm woke to this game, bruh. Yeah. Anything? No?
No.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, what is this? Alright, last up, we are going to power through this. Simply CK, or Simply COK on Instagram. Oh, yeah, the girl from No DQ. Here we go. If John Morrison goes to NXT, do you guys consider it as a downgrade? No, NXT, no, they've done a lot of great work in the last 5 years. I think it'd be a big plus for him.
I don't think it's a downgrade. I don't think he's going to go to NXT. I think he's going to be in the WWE. I don't know exactly where he's going to be, what brand he's going to be, what, babyface, heel. There's so many different directions you can go with. I know NXT is kind of hard to determine, what is NXT, but when I think of John Morrison, I don't think of NXT. I think he's much more a main roster WWE person.
Absolutely. Number 2, thoughts on Stu Bennett, a.k.a. Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, as the new commentator for the NWA. Barrett, he's always given me that classic old school feel. I loved him in WWE. Hopefully he makes an in-ring return somewhere soon. I'd love to see him wrestle again. I heard the commentary he used to do for What Culture Pro Wrestling and Define. He was their general manager. He's fine. He's fine. I think he'll put a very classic feel onto the promotion.
I enjoy Stu Bennett's work. As you said, I wish he would come back and do something somewhere. But him being a commentator for NWA, replacing the other guy, not the other guy on our podcast, but the other guy on NWA that will not be named. He seems as though he can bring a classy, sports-like aspect to it. He can be funny. He can be serious. He can do it all.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Before we get off of this topic, NWA put out a video thanking that other guy that used to be their commentator. That was poor taste. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I have not seen it. I did not hear about this, but that doesn't seem like a good idea after everything that's been going on.
Yeah, they put him over, and that's like WWE. This would be like WWE after the whole Hogan controversy first happened. Them thanking Hulk Hogan, after all of that happened. That's basically what's the equivalent to. And I'm like, that is very bad taste, guys. No.
And Hulk Hogan was arguably the biggest star that ever happened in professional wrestling, and Jim Cornette was, he was really good, but he's no, Hulk Hogan when it comes to the NWA and everything. Now, I'm not making an excuse for him, but you don't need to put him over that strong.
No, yeah, I was just saying that's the best I can equivalate it to, but yeah, was not good. And the last fan mail question for the day: do you think AEW has too many stables? No, stables are good. Hell, isn't New Japan built on stables?
Yes, they are, Phillip. Yes, they are.
WCW was built on stables. You had NWO, you had Wolfpack and Black and White, you had the LWO, you had the Radicals. It's fine. It's okay.
I don't know. They don't. When I think of stables, I don't really think they have that many. They have like the Inner Circle. The Dark Order, they're portrayed as a cult, but they're only really a tag team, and then whatever the hell Brandy Rose and Awesome Kong are doing. But there's really one for sure faction or stable, but then the other ones just kind of seem like a tag team or an alliance.
What about the Elite? Is that still a thing?
Well, the Elite have lost a member. They don't have Hangman Adam Page anymore. They're getting weaker.
Maybe Marty will fix that. All right, we're gonna hit Monday Night Raw. Kind of power through a lot of this stuff. Really, I've said that so many times already. Seth Rollins delivers his apology. He just wants the locker room to be better, ladies and gentlemen. He wants his brother-in and sister-in on the red brand, to be better than what they are. He was trying to motivate everybody. I agree, Seth. They do need to be better. Kevin Owens comes out there, and he says BS live on Raw. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know we can say these things on USA Network. I dug it. And then the AOP come out there.
I enjoy the slow burn of Seth Rollins' eventual heel turn, I assume. The Kevin Owens, I enjoyed it. It was such a refreshing thing to have a smart babyface who, looked through the heels and was like, I know you guys are going to attack me, so let's just get it over with. I'm not going to, be the dumb Sting babyface and trust this person just to get turned on in the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't see that nowadays. I like that. I like common sense. We need more of that in wrestling.
We need more of that in the world.
Touche. Brandon for president, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. 2032, you can run for president, sure.
I got 10 more years, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly, We can run against each other. Or, I could be your vice, you could be my vice, whichever we want to do here.
I'd rather be vice president. I get all the acclaim, but I don't have to do any of the work.
Wow. I see you pimping. I see you.
I can just go and throw out first pitches, go kiss babies, do some rallies, and not actually have to work on world stuff.
So you're going to be the Biden to my Obama, is that what you're telling me?
Sure, and then maybe I'll run for president in a few years, and I'll mess it up, like Biden. We're not going to get political, though.
Yeah, we're not going to get political. Kevin Owens defeats Bobby Lashley via disqualification because the AOP attacks Owens like he knew they would earlier on in the show. And after all this, Bobby Lashley and Lana get arrested. Yeah.
Yes, they did. Rusev came in and raised some hell, and apparently they do things a little different there in Tennessee. I don't know what that means. They don't observe restraining orders, but it seemed over. The crowd was getting behind Rusev. They were cheering on the heels getting arrested. So, as much as we kind of crap on it, it is kind of getting over a little bit.
Yeah. Were they in Nashville?
They were in Nashville.
Oh yeah, well Rusev.
Home of Rusev and Lana.
Exactly, man. So Rusev is like their native son, kind of, sort of. Yeah. It's so odd. Like wrestlers usually live in a lot of them live in Florida. You have like Mox and Renee who live in Vegas, or some stay in California. But Tennessee, it's just so random, especially for Rusev and Lana.
I assume Nashville is a beautiful place.
I've been there. It's okay. I've kind of just crept through it, but it's fine.
You go honky tonkin'?
No, I made my stop in Memphis. Memphis is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Drew McIntyre defeats Akira Tozawa. And then there's like this whole thing with Randy Orton coming out there, the OC. There's a brawl with, I think, Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet. And yeah.
I've been enjoying what they're doing with Drew McIntyre. Akira Tozawa, once again, is in a squash match. It wasn't as bad as what happened with Andrade last week, but I'm enjoying what they're doing with Drew. The back and forth with him and Randy I thought was good, setting up possibly a match between them, but Randy's also doing something with AJ, so kind of laying the groundwork for multiple stories here, so I enjoy that. And, everything else, the run-ins with the OC and everything was fine too.
Look, are they going to build up Drew just to take him down and tear him down again? Like, we can't keep doing this with this guy.
Possibly. And he's being heelish, I guess, but he's also being very charismatic and kind of funny that could endear him to the crowd as well. So, Randy Orton is over. The RKO to nowhere is over. So I think he'll be able to get the chance to boo Drew. But, it only takes a few things here and there to maybe the crowd turns on Randy and gets behind Drew.
That's very true. Randy signed, a 5-year deal? He can drop that RKO for the next 5 years, man. Hell, DDP's still dropping diamond cutters. Yeah.
It's a hell of a move.
Would you take an RKO from Randy Orton?
There's a paycheck along with it.
I'd do it for free. It would be my honor to take an RKO from Randy Orton. Be my honor. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, ask us what wrestling moves we will take. Somebody DM us that, please, and we will answer that next week on the show. All right, Aleister Black defeats Tony Nese. Tony Nese, former Cruiserweight champion. Thought he would be along in the little division they got in NXT, but I guess not.
Nice to see the Cruiserweight division is just now the jobber division now.
Wasn't it always, really?
I guess they're there, they have a name, they can have a good 3-minute match as much as you can have a good 3-minute match, so there you go.
They were big talk when Enzo was there. Do they need Enzo back? Do we need Enzo Amore back, ladies and gentlemen?
No, we don't.
I don't know. After that Chris Van Vliet interview, I don't know. I'm kind of on an Enzo kick. We might just have to drop Enzo drops on this podcast now. I don't know. I'll see how I feel.
Or we can drop the Enzo drops.
Okay. Andrade Cien Almas defeats Eric Young. Poor Eric Young. This guy was a main eventer in TNA. What the hell happened? A lot of these guys who are jobbing now were main eventers in TNA. Like, where the hell is EC3?
Eric Young, I enjoyed him a lot in TNA. The question of, who's your top 5? I really enjoyed Eric Young back in the day for TNA. He was very, people might have said he was the knockoff Daniel Bryan, but for what he did, all the different things he did, very charismatic, and it's a shame that he didn't really get the right time of day in WWE because he's so good. He can be in the 24/7 title picture. I think that division is just so stale right now. We need something else, and I think Eric Young, if Vince knew what Eric Young could do, I think he would get a kick out of him, but unfortunately he does not.
Yeah, I didn't know the 24/7 title was still a thing, dude. I saw it on Raw, and I'm like, oh yeah, that still exists. And then some NASCAR guy won it, so yeah.
Kyle Busch won it. Or was it Kurt Busch? I think it's Kyle Busch.
Do you watch NASCAR, Brandon?
I do not watch NASCAR, but
Oh,
I know some people in it.
I was about to say now.
Big Dale Earnhardt fan.
You just
R.I.P.
you just watch cars drive around in a circle, Brandon?
Never been. I've been to drag racing. Drag racing, very fun.
Oh. Next time you go, you're gonna take me?
I haven't gone in like 15 years.
Oh, damn.
Almost saw somebody die. It was not a good sight.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to see that. The Kabuki Warriors, they defeat Charlotte Flair. This was fun. It was a good match. I liked it. I felt
Once again, Charlotte, who I thought was a heel, is then put in a babyface situation, going up against the tag team champs, who it takes 15 minutes to beat Charlotte. Yes, I know Charlotte is one of the top women in the division, but does the tag team specialists really need 15 minutes to win a handicap match?
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte Flair. What did I say she was? What, Hogan 87? That's basically where we are, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, but if this was...
Sounds like Hogan 97, where she's got to put herself over so much.
See what you did there. I mean, but if this was Hogan 87, he would have won this match, no problem. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Hulk Hogan faced off against the Kabuki Warriors in a handicap match back in '86 or whatever.
Yeah, let's not even think about that. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know where we're going with this. And the Kabuki Warriors, they're the heels. Asuka's spitting green stuff in people's face. Those are heel tendencies.
Yes, they are. And they know Becky Lynch on the show. Rumors are that it's going to be them against Charlotte and Becky in a TLC match for the tag titles. And we're a week and a half away, and we don't know really any match on the show. So can't wait for TLC, guys.
TLC's next week, huh?
Yes, it is. And no matches have been announced.
Yeah, I will. I'll be at NXT Live. That's where I will be. So TLC podcast may have to wait till like Monday, Brandon.
It's a shame.
That is a shame. The OC, the original, the only club that matters, yes. They defeat Ricochet, Humberto Carrillo, and Rey Mysterio, the champion of our country. Booyaka booyaka. And all this ends with an RKO. Why? It's the most over move in the biz.
With so many squash matches, we'd even talk about your boys Eric Rowan and No Way Jose. So many squash matches on this show. This match and the Charlotte Flair handicap match, it really just kind of stood out because we actually got competitive wrestling, so good on them. But we've seen Humberto and Ricochet against the OC just so many times that it's almost getting kind of stale at this point. Yeah,
so we should we should not see this anymore. We can have Randy and AJ next week. Let's give him 15-20. Let him make it happen.
Why not? They got 3 hours to fill.
Exactly, bro. All right, Brandon, you can take away the AEW Dynamite recap. Tell us what happened.
Oh, that's so nice of you, Phillip, to bestow the honor of hosting for one segment onto me. Well, anyways, at AEW, taking place in Champaign, Illinois, at the Fighting Illini State Farm Arena, whatever the hell it's called, we get the Young Bucks and Dustin Rhodes taking on Sammy Guevara and Santana and Ortiz in a 6-man tag. The babyfaces win, so Santana and Ortiz slipping up, once again losing, but Sammy Guevara is the one who eats the pinfall here. Kind of a spot fest match. We get Dustin Rhodes in the tassels, so JR and Tony Schiavone had a good laugh at that. I mean, it was kind of spotty. The ending I thought was very contrived. Sammy was there moving around, looking up, and he had to wait forever. Young Bucks kind of posture to the crowd a little bit too much. That being said, it was a good match. I want the Young Bucks to get more, character development. Them and Kenny, I think they're just kind of assuming that everybody knows who they are and what they stand for. But I want a little bit more from the Young Bucks, Phillip.
I want a lot more from the Young Bucks. I really do. The match was cool. I mean, the Champagne crowd, they really enjoyed it. I saw the Brock Lesnar guy in the front row. Sammy Guevara, he's a Spanish god. I love him. By the way, back to the AEW music. His music is fire. I like it. I like his. He's one of the very few that actually has good music in AEW. The rest of the roster, a lot of the roster, they need to fix a lot of that. They do. Dustin Rhodes in the tassels. You gotta love it. 3 power slams. Dustin, he doesn't age. He's doing sentons off of aprons and crossbodies and shadow dreams. It's all great. You gotta love it. As Brandon would say.
We get Phoenix taking on Trent after the Best Friends beat the Lucha Bros. We get some more 50-50 booking here as Phoenix defeats Trent in a long match. I mean, it was good. I think they see something in Trent as being a single star as he was being groomed for in New Japan. And, I mean, I'm okay with it, but once again, we get more 50-50 booking, and I don't know why they have the Lucha Bros being in these singles matches, because then we have Pentagon Jr. taking on Christopher Daniels later on in the show, so we can just kind of tackle that 2-for-1. Pentagon wins as well. Christopher Daniels, if you haven't seen it, unfortunately, he tried to do a little springboard moonsault off the top rope, and he crash landing right on the elevated ramp area. Poor CD.
Yes, poor CD. Is it really 50-50 booking if the one tag team beats another tag team, and then they have singles matches, and one of those guys beats the other guy? Is that really 50-50 booking?
I mean, it kind of is. One team wins on one week, and then the other team wins the other week.
It wasn't the other team though. It was a singles match.
Well, I mean, you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going. I'm just saying, you know. Anyway, keep going.
Well, then we had a Cody Rhodes promo in the middle of the ring. Tony Schiavone was there, asked him what he's feeling, and then Cody cuts a spirited promo. He asked, what does it take for MJF if he wants his watch, wants his shoes, wants his truck, wants 50K or 50 racks, as my boy Hootie Who would say. He, calls out MJF. He does some shots over at the other company, saying that everybody's botching the Crossroads, and he calls him a cheap NWO knockoff of Chris Jericho. We finally get the Cody promo from MJF,
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, Cody's always a very passionate promo. He can tell a great story. If we had a Storyteller of the Year award on our show, he might have won it. Really might have won it. When they have to have a pay-per-view sometime before Double or Nothing, and I would assume that's when Cody and MJF would have their match.
I think they could stretch it out a little bit more. Maybe you have him face on Wardlow first to get to MJF, the boss before the boss.
Pump one out in like February. I think they could do that.
Maybe they do a Spring Stampede. Don't they have the rights to that name?
I think they do, yeah.
So there you go.
All right.
He also touches on the Butcher, Blade, and the Bunny, and he's going to have a tag team match with, I'm sorry, I'm slipping on his name because he's barely been on TV, but Cody's going to face them. We also get a little vignette from the Butcher, Blade, and Bunny, so we get a little backstory. They say that Cody is looking over them or what. I don't know exactly what the whole point of it was, but your thoughts on that aspect of the show.
I don't know how I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, Allie in a bunny suit, bow, hello, Jesus Christ. I know Braxton Soto. I don't know the other guy. It's whatever. This is really a Brandy Rhodes feud with Allie that turned into this weird latex feud with Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
Well, okay then. We get Nyla Rose taking on the Librarian Leva Bates. Peter Avalon gets involved, but then Nyla Rose beat both of them, I guess, and then somebody else comes out because Nyla attacked her, and then she beats her up, and then it beats up the referee, and then we cut to Britt Baker in the crowd, and she's doing Britt Baker face, and that's Adam Cole's girlfriend, so we get a nice ha-ha laugh from there, and I don't know why Britt Baker was just standing around with her meme face when she could have gone and done something about it.
She's trying to capitalize on this newfound popularity, If she could just stand in the crowd and make that face and not have to wrestle, what's wrong with that? Make a little money off of it? I don't see a problem with it.
They finally use Nyla Rose for the first time in forever.
Yeah, when we first really started talking about AEW, you know how high I was on Nyla Rose Thought she should have been the first women's champion. Where the hell is Rio at? Don't know. Yeah. So can we just get the title off of Rio and put it on Nyla? Can we just do that already? You know?
No,
Why not?
because I think Riho is a very good wrestler. I think she's clicking with the crowd, and with a lot of these women, who aren't the best wrestlers in the world, I think Riho is able to carry them to a competent match, which is saying a lot.
I guess if you really mean that, you know.
Next up, we got Le Champion. He cuts a promo, and he tells us that the AEW brass says that he has to wrestle one more match by the end of the year on December 18th, and then he breaks out the Lexicon of Le Champion. And it is a complete list of everyone who he will not face on 18th. He states Jon Moxley multiple times. We got some other inside jokes. He says Paige. He says the Scorpions. He says some other stuff. Apparently, at the very end, before he gets cut off by the Jurassic Express, apparently he said Marty. No last name, but you can read into that what you want to. And then we get the Jurassic Express coming out. We get the back and forth between Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt. And then ultimately, we're going to get Jungle Boy taking on Chris Jericho, December 18th, non-title, I assume, from Texas.
Corpus Christi, right? Yeah, was that it? Oh,
Corpus Christi.
Yeah, that was a hotbed for Impact back in the day. Look, the Lexicon of Le Champion, I really enjoyed it. Chris told them to shut up. It's not 2016 anymore, which pop teach for that, because if you know, you know. Yeah, man, Jungle Boy Jumpin' Jack Perry, as Jim Ross would say, versus Chris Jericho. That's an interesting one. I think they're gonna work nicely. Jericho will sell for the kid, and Jack's gonna eat a Judas effect.
I mean, I'm intrigued to see what they do with this. I think you could also done Marco Stunt. I think the crowd was maybe asking for the Marco Stunt match maybe a little bit more, but I think having Jungle Boy be in there is a suitable match as well. It could be the main event. He can work for 10 minutes or whatever. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the best thing to have your lead heel champion be, a meme generator where he just does all these funny things and it's entertaining, but he doesn't really do a lot of stuff for you to hate him. But that being said, at the end of the show, he does come out, and it seems though he's, filling time and he's having fun right now. But then when it comes to Jon Moxley, he's going to be serious, and we're going to see the painmaker side of Le Champion.
Yeah, I think that is the case. Well, speaking of Moxley, Brandon, take it away.
Well, before we go to Moxley, we have to talk about the fire match that was Chris Statlander defeating Hikaru Shida.
Do we have to?
I mean, I guess we have to, and I think the reason you made me do the AEW Dynamite recap is because you were scared to say Hikaru Shida.
Look, I can say Hikaru Shida, okay?
It's just the other Japanese names you got a problem with.
Look, I thought you were gonna put more emphasis on the Lexicon of Le Champion. That's why I let you do this, but I was wrong.
I'm much more apt to say the Japanese names than the French names.
Okay, I see you.
Well, anyways, Statlander wins. Shida was the number 1 or 2 contender, so now I guess Statlander's the number 1 contender, so there you go. The women's division on Fuego. And we also forgot to talk about Brandy Rhodes and whatchamacallit, Awesome Kong. They come out, and then she cuts a little bit of a promo, and then we have a crazed fan, and they try to cut her hair off, and they do a little bit, but then they don't do it completely. We're going to get some sort of straight edge society thing going on with Brandy Rhodes.
That's exactly where I was going. Like, is Brandy Rhodes, like, what the hell is going on here? She cuts off the ponytail. Like, are we getting straight edge society? Like, are we going that far here? Is Serena going to be, like, a part of this? What did she call her cult? Like, Nightmare Collective? Is that what she called it? Yeah.
Yes, Nightmare something. I did like how Cody actually acknowledged it, which is kind of the big elephant in the room. Like, Cody, your wife's a witch right now. What's going on?
I don't know. It's mood swings, We don't know what's happening there. Would you join the Nightmare Collective, Brandon?
I mean, I've already cut my hair off, so I guess I've already joined.
There you go. I don't have that much to cut, you boys. I'm losing it up top. All right, super. Oh wait, no. Oh my God. You see, this is why I wanted to get to it sooner, Brandon. You wasted your time with Hiraku Shida.
Or Hikaru. Then, in the event, we got Jon Moxley taking on Joey Janela. We had a backstage promo earlier on in the show with Janela, and Jon Moxley just kind of brushes it off. Good back and forth match, not a super spot fest hardcore match like they had at Fyter Fest, but it was okay. And then in Le Champion, if that's good enough for you, comes out at the end of the show with a stare down, so giving Mox a little bit of the business that he did to him last week. So definitely setting up Moxley versus Jericho somewhere down the line.
Yes, it is. Renee was mentioned by name on AEW. That's great. That's always nice.
Good for Renee. She's super over.
She's super over. You have to love Renee. You have to. This was cool. And the table spot was nice. Mox always deserves to get the dub. Joey Geneva, as my boy Enzo would say. What's he gonna be doing, man? Like what's him and Havoc and Allen and all these hardcore guys? Like, what are they really gonna be doing here, man?
Well, I thought they would maybe have. Well, I don't know exactly what to do, because you can't have just Janela and Jimmy Havoc and all those guys just have hardcore matches all the time. I think Janela is someone who maybe I haven't really seen a lot of his stuff outside of the hardcore realm, so maybe he can do some wrestling stuff. I mean, he was fine in this match, but it was kind of jarring to see how smaller he was compared to Jon Moxley, because you don't even think of Moxley as being like a big dude, but he like just towered over Janela.
Yeah. They need to introduce that secondary men's title pretty soon. Give this some umph.
Some no.
No. Oh. I didn't say I said umph. But can you make him say Say it. There you go. Superstar Spotlight, who do we got? Who was the superstar, the wrestler, the performer of this week, Brandon, that stood out to you the most?
I would say Kushida. I thought Kushida had a good video package on NXT yesterday. He comes back from his match with Walter, fracturing his wrist. He comes back and he faces, my boy, Cameron Grimes, in a pretty stellar match. And Kushida's a family man now. He's a time-splitting family man.
Okay, there you go. I think I'm gonna go give it to the Kabuki Warriors. They handled themselves very well against Charlotte. Those double spears were fuego. But Io Shirai with that, not Io Shirai, Jesus Christ. Kairi Sane, sorry, had Io Shirai on the mind because of obvious reasons. Kairi Sane, the insane elbow, it's a gem. Her hitting it on Charlotte in that position was great. Yeah, man, Kabuki Warriors for the Superstar Spotlight on my end this week.
Well, Philip, let's talk about my promo pick of the week. It's December. Once Thanksgiving is over, then it's officially Christmas time. And so now it is Christmas time. We're going to talk about Raw, December 22nd, 1997. And we got Stone Cold interrupting Santa Claus because Santa Claus was being a meanie to a little baby Uso. And then Stone Cold just gives Santa the business, gives him a stunner, because Stone Cold loves Christmas.
Yes, baby. What baby Uso was that?
I believe it was a little Jimmy Uso.
That's very true. That's a very possibility. Steve Austin dropping Santa Claus with a stunner made my day today when I watched it, because I've asked Santa for things over the years and I haven't gotten them. Very upset. Very, very upset. Maybe he should make my. Maybe I should have a lexicon. I don't know. We'll see. The promo was fine. It was just Austin back in the 90s doing what he does. It even gave him the elbow drop to the back of the head off of the second rope. I love that. That was great. That was fun. Oh, hell yeah.
Gotta love 97 Stone Cold. Still technically a heel, but everybody loves him.
No, Brandon, Stone Cold's your guy, right? Give me your best Steve Austin.
No.
Why not?
I don't do impressions on here, Philip.
Why not, bro? Come on, just like what? You can't give us one of those? The people want it.
My best Stone Cold impression is just sitting back, just guzzling beers.
Okay. Closing match pick of the week: Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles, WrestleMania 32, April 3rd, 2016. Floman Reigns and Mex Mendoza, they were over at my house watching this on this day. And I was watching it the other day, and I'm like, oh man, this was fun. There were only like 2 really good matches on this show. It was this and then the woman's title triple threat. But what are your thoughts on this match?
I remember this match. I thought, this was AJ Styles' first real big time match in WWE, so the expectations were off the charts. And I was, to be honest, I might have been a little disappointed, but that was just because I think I had too high of expectations. Still a very good, really good match. But AJ Styles ends up losing. And then the kind of reality sets in like, oh yeah, I forgot, he's a TNA guy, so he's not going to be doing that well in WWE. But we were all proven wrong. He got a nice long title run, and he seems like he's one of them now.
He is one of them. He said this is where he's going to end his career. This was good. Jericho just pandering to the crowd. They had like a little hiccup in the match, but it wasn't like overly like disastrous. It was just like a little. Let me reposition real quick. Hold on, so we can get this right. But yeah, I mean, this was in front of 100,000 people. Remember?
Allegedly.
These are facts. Wrestling, you gotta boost the numbers.
If Lillian Garcia says it's 100,000, then it's 100,000.
Was she the ring announcer that night?
Oh no, it probably was Stephanie, because Stephanie's got to get herself over and make these historic announcements.
I don't think Stephanie was the ring announcer that night, bro.
Well, she makes her entrance and be like, oh my god, it's an all new attendance record, WrestleMania record. It's 125,000 billion people. Because it's just like Hulk Hogan in the Superdome. Every time it just keeps getting higher and higher.
I slammed that giant in front of 93,728 people, brother. Yeah.
And, Andre, he was not in a good mood, brother, so I didn't know if he was going to go up and do the JOB for me, but, luckily we had a good talk and everything worked out.
Yeah, I slammed that 7-foot-tall giant. He weighed 845 pounds. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. Andre gets taller and taller and heavier every time he tells this story. Why did we start talking about Hulk Hogan? Why did I go into a Hogan impersonation? I don't know why. Ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, The Bulletcast, YouTube channel, Bulletcast, email is bulletcast2 with the number 2 sweet SWET at gmail.com. Apparently, we just reached 100 subscribers on YouTube. Honestly, I thought we had like 52. I'm not going to lie to you. I really did. For those of you that have subscribed to the BC on YouTube, thank you so much. That's where the whole catalog of this show exists. It exists on YouTube. My life's work is there. Please, go listen. Go listen. Hopefully I can make you say, Listen to us every Friday night, 9 p.m.
No.
There you go. Listen to us every Friday night on 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville. Every Friday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Patreon. We're all over the damn place. Next week, Thursday, Brandon and I will come back to you. Episode 150. We got to do something special for the show, Brandon. We have to. We just have to.
We both do Krista Joseph impersonations.
You never know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go be a wrestling coach. Got to go do the other shoot job. This has been the BC Brandon. I will talk to you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. As Kenny Omega would say, goodbye and good night. Bang!
This is gonna hurt. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek. We are the elite.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.